part 2 of debunking lies why Jesus was not the God from Old Testament. Have you ever thought about it that Jesus didn't have anything to do with this bloodthirsty, violent, woman-hating God from Old Testament? Because Jesus was walking in love and forgiveness and compassion, telling us to love our enemies, to forgive. We're going to look into 3 cases today. Stick with me. The case of women who touched Jesus' garment and how the Levitical law made her a social outcast, and how could that possibly not be coming from our loving God. We probably all know the story that this woman suffered for 12 years from bleeding. Let's see what Levitical law says about it. The impurity of her monthly period will last 7 days, and anyone who touches her will be unclean till evening. Anything she lies on during her period will be unclean, and anything she sits on will be unclean. Anyone who touches her bed will be unclean. They must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and they will be unclean till evening. And this is only about a monthly period, guys. And let me ask you a question. What kind of life is it? And on top of that, they had to wait 1 more week after period. She was still unclean. She must count off 7 days, and after that she will be ceremonially clean. On the 8th day, she must take 2 doves or 2 young pigeons and bring them to the priest at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Okay, so there is also a sacrifice that has to be made, animal sacrifice. Jesus loves his creations. He never asked for animal sacrifices. So, I mean, how natural thing, bleeding in a woman, and God of Old Testament made it so unclean. She's untouchable. Like for 2 weeks, guys. Would a loving God put such a law in the first place at all? Think about it. He loves his creation. He loves his children. Why would he do that? Now let's go back to her. Now imagine she was bleeding for 12 years. What kind of life is it? Now let's look at what she did. She touched Jesus' garment. According to the law, she was not allowed to do this, but she was so desperate. She had faith. She believed, and she touched his robe. Did Jesus become unclean? No. Did he condemn her? No. Why didn't he, if it was supposedly his law from the beginning? He hasn't sealed the covenant with his blood yet, so why didn't he act on the law that so many claim that he has given in the Old Testament? He hasn't acted upon it. Now let's jump into animal sacrifice and see what Jesus says about it through his prophet Jeremiah. Jeremiah 7. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, put your burnt offerings onto your sacrifices and eat flesh. And some translations even have eat it yourself, okay? For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. But this thing commanded I them, saying, Obey my voice, and I will be your God, and ye shall be my people, and walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you. Do you see that? That's why Israel didn't like the prophets. That's why they were stoning them, guys. Whew. It was right in front of our faces all this time, and we just refused to see that. And I did too. I remember reading Old Testament, and that was after I read the New Testament, and I remember I was crying, I was screaming, my heart was in my throat. I didn't understand all this. I didn't understand those massacres. I didn't understand, like, children, Father, why would you kill children? Now let's look into adulterous women. Why Jesus didn't condemn her. According to Levitical law, she was supposed to be stoned. And why Jesus had mercy on her? Why didn't he adhere to his own law? Because again, he hasn't sealed the covenant, the new covenant, with his blood yet. So theoretically, the old covenant should be still in place, okay? Think about it. But Jesus didn't act on it. Psst, You know why? Because it was never his law. That's what he never put on his people, guys. Didn't it say that Jesus has saved us from the curse? The curse was upon him so that we can live in freedom. He took it away from us. Could a loving God put curse on his own creation or his children to start with? Why would a loving God do that? So summing up, guys, Jesus was never God of eye for eye, hate your enemies, kill them off, kill the babies. No, condemn the women. He was never God of this. And Levitical law, this very strict, cruel law, is not from him. And Jesus himself is revealing and bringing those missing pieces now through prophets, through Mandy de la Parra. Okay, find her at Seek Heavenly Things. He's bringing the lost books that were taken away, the remembrance books. Okay, I'm gonna leave the list at the end of the video of all the remembrance books that Jesus told us to read now. And it talks about how Moses and the Levitical law came about. It talks about even Jesus's childhood. It talks about Adam and Eve, the first moments, you know, after they came out of the garden, and also about the children and grandchildren. Those remembrance books were actually referred to in the Bible. If you look at Malachi 3:16, you will find so many treasures in those books that just gonna make you want to binge on them all the time. There's so many missing pieces. Finally, things are coming to surface, guys. So let's restore Jesus's character, his true character, to the world, okay? Let's bring it back. Lots of food for the thought, okay? Pray about everything. Bring it to Jesus. Bye.